Here is an example of how to do some of the problems from 9.1 based off of the independent practice page. So when we are looking at a three-dimensional unit, you can either do base times height, or base is also made up of length times width times our height. So we'll be referring to these equations for these problems down below here. So if I look at this, I can see that there are 1, 2, 3 cubes here and 2 across. So we have a length of 3 and a width of 2. So right now my base is going to be equal to 6. So there are 6 total cubes on the bottom. But we can either do repeated addition or multiplication by saying that it has a height of 1, 2, 3. So I could do 3 times 2 times 3, or my base, which is 6 times 3, to use our base times height equation. So for number 1, we could either do 6 times 3, which is my base times my height, or I could do my length times my width times my height. And it's going to give me the same answer here of 18. So the number of cubes is going to be 18. And when we're talking about three-dimensional, that means it has a length, a width, and a height, which is 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimensions. So that's why we do cubic, because that represents 3. So the volume is going to be 18 cubic units. Now number 2 is a little bit tricky because we have this missing space here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 2 different equations to solve problem number 2. I first am going to solve the volume of this bigger rectangle, and then I'll do the smaller one over here. So I can see that this has a length of 2 by 2 by 1, 2, 3 by just looking at this volume of this prism here. So I'm going to do 2 times 2 times 3, or my base would be my 2 by 3 of 6. So I'm going to say 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 3 is equal to 12. But that's only this one over here. We still need to figure out the volume of this one over here. So this has 2 by 1 by 2. 2, 1, and 2. So our base is 2 and our height is 2. So we would either do base times height, which is 2 times 2, or length times width times height, which is going to be 2 times 1 times 2, which would give me 2 times 1 is equal to 2, and 2 times 2 is equal to 4. Whoops. So then I'm going to add these 2 totals together to get the total amount of cubes here. So 12 plus 4 is equal to 16. So the number of cubes is 16, and then the volume would be 16 cubic units. So on number 3, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 across, 2 wide, and a height of 2. So right now I have a base of 8. The first layer has 4 across 2 times, so that's a base of 8. And my height is 2, so if I did my base times height, that's going to be equal to 8 times 2. So my answer to this is also going to be 16. You can either write it as units cubed or appear like our cubic units. So how many cubes would fit in this box? Explain your answer. So I'm going to say 16 cubes would fit in this container. It has a base of 8 and a height of 2. When you multiply them together, you get 16. So that is how you do 3 example problems from our lesson 9.1.